everyone. Welcome to Creature Corner, here for Gnomon School of Visual Effects in Hollywood, California. My name is Jared Krichevsky. I am a creature and character concept artist working in the industry today. We're going to do some creatures. We're continuing part 3 of our Santa Claus Cryptid special spectacular. It's the holidays, so we're going to do a holiday monster. And that's going to be it. Matt Millard is off tonight, so it's going to be me hanging out with you. So we can do I'm just going to spend some time on this guy, render it out for a little bit, and then if you guys like, we can do a question and answer session ongoing. So I've got James in the back helping me out, and we're going to just go running off to the races. I've spent a total of like maybe 6 hours on this guy. Let's see. We're just going to run it backwards. All the way from like just initial sketches. Oh, bright white. There we go. Our initial concept, which was just like very loose thumbnails, doodling out little different cryptids. The idea was it's Santa Claus, a creature that looks like Saint Nicholas that we know today. And how do we make that into a big snowbound monster that would live in the North Pole? So that's what we're doing. Lots of discussion. Let's hide all that silliness. Dropping in notes and references. It's my underpainting. There we go. So here's the original sketch. Which is pretty much just like all in Krita now. Just markers and drawing. Right. And then starting to blast some color on this thing, a little bit of background, some snow, a little bit of lighting, cold color scheme, and then maybe another lighting pass. And so there we go. Oh, little rim light. And we had the suggestion of putting like a little horn on his head. And so just going to spend a little bit of time rendering on top of this. And then we will be off to the races. So I'm just going to put on some music. We'll got some like retro stuff. Okay. This is like least Christmassy music we could possibly do. All right. And we just got to like set up, like big part of it is just like getting settled in, getting cozy, getting your mind set. It's supposedly it takes like 20 to 30 minutes of sitting in a space to like get in a flow state. That's what I'm doing right now. Just get relaxed. We're just gonna chill out today. I'm gonna start painting with an overlay layer. I'm using Krita, which is a free software. And really, this guy is just kind of being lit directly 3/4 overhead, nothing crazy. We will continue to add layers of light to this. Yeah, I like Krita a lot. It came on my radar a couple of months ago, and I've not shut up about it since. And now I just tell everybody about it. Yes, we do. We love it. Can't hear the music yet. Hmm. It's probably, I don't know. Can I not share? Let's see. I don't know. I have it on really softly. I don't know. Do you really want to listen to my lo-fi streaming music? It's probably a little bit better. I just don't want to get any feedback. James, just let me know if I have any feedback. Anyway, how y'all doing? Let's make a little Christmas monster. We need a name for this guy. Like, we know what he is, that he's a Santa Claus cryptid, but needs a name. Panel in a comic, hell yeah. What stage you at? Are you like it rough? Pink? Man, that's a lot of words. I don't know what that means. A dwarf fortress bender. I'm painting on overlay, but maybe you shouldn't. That. Just turn it off and on. There it is. Okay, we're good now. Super cheerful. It's Christmas time, baby. Shout out to all you Christmas people. I'm trying to make Christmas a little more spooky, you know what I mean? I think we need more spooky Christmas stuff. I'm just trying to get over the sketch. Spend some time blending it in. Just a big fuzzy guy. That's all. Just a little fuzzy guy. Man. Well, we got Avatar coming up this weekend. Yeah, Krampus is a great movie. Krampus is a great, great movie, and of course, like Nightmare Before Christmas, which is also a great like bridge movie because it's kind of Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. They sneak a little Thanksgiving in there. Very good movie. All I've done is just change my brush mode to overlay. That's it. Just get cozy. Get cozy. That was fun. Fun little trip out there for a second. I like the creatures on Avatar. I think Neville Page designed some of them. Yeah, he definitely worked on Avatar 1. I'm sure he would have worked on Avatar 2 at some point in 3 and 4. 900. But Neville Page is amazing. Of course, one of the one of the best out there, man. He's great. His profile's legendary. Little brushy strokes coming off the tail. I'm just thinking about popping this area. Like a gentle guy. It's like something nice. It's like he's a nice monster. Does it pass the squint test? Like if we zoom out, we squint at it, flip the canvas, right? Does it pass the squint test? When in doubt, zoom out. Go flip. Go flip. Oh yeah, I know. I know. And I know I know my credit is confirmed too. So bummer I can't go see it. Um, might be like a couple weeks before I can probably pop over see a movie like that. It's okay. It is what it is. Just have to miss the biggest blockbuster ever. But surgery will be just fine. It'll be cool. But thank you. Yeah, I know. I know. Very, very excited to see it. I'm hoping that I get a screener. Not the ideal way I want to see that movie. So I might just have to wait. Okay, so this was a suggestion from Matt. If we put a little horn on his head, it looks like his little red hat. But probably look up. So I was thinking about it earlier that his hat is it's kind of like hangs over his head. So I'm gonna grab an image. That. That's not what I want. Maybe I can paste it in here. Nope. Like this one. Classic. Classic Santa. This is also what's kind of cool about Krita. That you can just pop in reference images in the canvas, and it saves along with it. You can move around and do all the normal things. I was thinking about it, like his Santa's hat is usually off to the side, and right now I've got his kind of like going straight up, and I'm really kind of committed to the paint now, so I'm gonna paint over it. So the idea is that instead of the horn going straight up, I did it maybe coming out like this, more like a musk oxen. And maybe the other horn is kind of like the other side is broken off. And then this would cast like a cooler shadow. Something like that. That kind of makes sense. And actually, I really love musk oxen. They're really cool. Love their horns. So this is where I'm going with it. They got these really cool horns that are kind of flat on their head. So I was thinking, what if like Santa's is like that? Put it over here. Come on down, bud. There you go. Santa. There it is. Kind of gets lighter up there, but because it's a little redder. The light would be coming around here. So that like either way you looked at him, you'd be seeing like the hat on the one side. Flip. That makes less. That makes more sense. Do more hair. That transition. Sometimes you gotta break it to fix it. Yeah, Avatar, man, that's gonna be so sick. Avatar's gonna be good. Then right after that, I think in like January comes Megan. That's going to be awesome. Megan is going to be very, very cool. I'm excited for that one. And look at that. You can even sample off the reference. Incredible. Ah, so good. Do some texture here. glazing over it, very low opacity, light pressure. Yeah, same here. Yeah, this makes much more sense. Right? It's kind of, I mean, that's just what it is. It's problem solving. Problem solving and then communication. You would not think that, like, as concept artist, you would be doing a lot of communicating. You're like, ah, everything you do happens on the page. But in truth, a lot of it is just like client relations, like engaging them on a process. You are often like the first person that they're pitching to. A lot of times, or like first person to kind of like hear the story outside of like your their their group of producers, writers, directors, whoever. You're you're there to be exciting, you know, and it is exciting because then you can offer suggestions like, "Oh no, that's been done before," or "What if we did this? Like, what can we try that's something new?" They might get like locked in on an idea. You're like, "Well, we can't do that because they already did this, so we have to push and do something different." And then there are limitations as well. Limitations in the project, maybe in the budget, the time you have. Just trying to rein everything in a little bit. Just kind of sculpt the shapes a little bit first before I render them. I switched from like a hard round brush to like a marker kind of brush, and I use my hard round to sculpt the shape that I want. It's more of a chiseling kind of brush, and then I will use the marker for like blending and opacity. And doesn't look right yet, but you just keep chiseling it away. Just think about your lighting. So this would all be casting a shadow here. A lot of like little hairs they're catching too, stuck in between. It'll help blend some of this transition here. Little dude. Got a little tuft of fur. Little stray hairs everywhere. It kind of helps break up the shape, creates overlap. And it's all kind of like contributes to the overall like vibe here. I pretty much just use like, you know, my little selection of brushes. Really love this program. I really do. It feels exactly like natural media. I don't know how they do it. Just thinking of like how he's being lit, and it's kind of like all the lighting is pretty much this way, with a little rim light going this way. A very very standard lighting setup. It. Cutting out those shapes. Out. to my overlay. Overlay! Like this, though. We'll go back. Trying to chisel those shapes out of the paint. All right, I'm just chilling. I'm in the zone now. See, I told you it takes a little time to warm up. And I've been drawing all day. I've been drawing and painting all day, but it is you step away, you walk away, you look at it again, you come back. That is the process. You just have to trust in the process, which is like the hardest part. Finding a process you like and then sticking to it. And then, as you find your process, you find new things in the process. Am I still writing? Well, I took a break for a little bit, but since I will be away from my computer for a while, I will have some time to do some writing. So I am very excited to get back into writing again. I'm going to try a different exercise, the same muscle but different medium. We will see how that goes, because like script writing is, in addition to the storytelling, is very technical as well. It's a technical craft as well as a storytelling vehicle. That's why it's really, really hard. Like, anybody that tells you writing a script is easy is crazy, because it is incredibly difficult. I mean, unless like they're a pro and they've been doing it for years. But it is very, very hard to write a script. And I've written 2. It's hard. Very, very hard. And I've written outlines and other stuff, other various projects I've developed over the years. I've done pitch packets. I've pitched 2 companies, various projects of, I've sat in on the casting process. I've done voiceover work and commercials. That was a long time ago, but having done those things, I have seen different sides of the industry. I've sat in on the casting process. I've gone in front of casting directors. Again, long time ago, before I got into visual effects. So you work with producers and then producers and directors. And you build a vision. That jaw do be looking gnarly. Thank you. I read Stephen King's On Writing. Yes, he wrote. Also wrote one called Danse Macabre, which is kind of like his essay on horror and why we love horror. So, also an amazing read. I tend to do quite a bit of reading too. Hey, burned out embers. Thank you. Yeah, we changed up the horn quite a bit. So now I'm adding a little bit of bump, a little bit of like texture to the horn. Kind of push out back here. And push up some of these little hairs. Back to my hard round. I'm trying to kind of like bridge this gap here. Gotta look like Santa Claus. And Santa also, I mean, he also has like a puff at the end. At the end of his, I don't know if that would work. Are there any animals that have like tufts of hair at the end of their... I mean, we could do whatever we want. I'm just asking the question. Are there any animals with like tufts of hair? There are, like elk and deer and most animals, they shed their horns as they grow and things like that. But I'm just wondering, an animal that has like a tuft of hair. Probably look that up. I might have to. And he's got like little belly tufts. Long kind of... I don't know how to move these guys now. Whatever. Danse Macabre on it. Yes, fantastic book. While you're at it, go pick up Revival from Stephen King. Revival is excellent. Yeah, buddy. Gonna be an Avatar Christmas. Pretty cool. I'm waiting 13 years for that Avatar movie, man. That's awesome. Like, for like, why would you want to make that movie 13 years? And that's, I mean, that's just obsession. You think about it. 13 years. I mean, and it was like it was a cultural phenomenon then. You know, people joke like, "Oh, what did it contribute?" You know, things like that. It was a crazy accomplishment. I mean, I remember when I saw Avatar in the theater, and you know they were doing the 3D glasses and everything you had to do. Looks amazing. Looks amazing. Getting sloppy. That to overlay. Switching brushes. Going back. Yeah. Sometimes it's just about getting messy and then chiseling at your edges. Chisel away, good friend. That's why. potion. There you go. Light would be scattering through. More yellow. That. I'm working my way down. All you can do, just keep working your way down. You do be looking cute though, yeah. Like, but he could go like Mad Mardigan mode. Like he could go crazy. It is a big wild animal, and you could scare him. This overlap here. Chisel away at those edges. Certainly don't mind a more like painterly look with this. It's kind of in the spirit of the holidays. I know I was thinking about possibly doing back spikes back here, but I'm just gonna say forget it. It's like a big tuft of hair. Like the thing that runs in my head when I'm thinking about this is Harry and the Hendersons. That's a movie I grew up on. Watched that one a lot. John Lithgow, Rick Baker, who did the Sasquatch, classic story, unbelievable friendship. Love that movie. I always love that kind of story. Like, and truly, like, if you want to be a better creature designer, understanding story is actually a big part of it. Um, watch film analysis, learn about the language of film, learn how different departments communicate, learn about like what stage your of your creature is going to go through. Learn about the pipe. Oh, they're going to groom them. I got his claws down here, and I haven't colored those in. Hair color up there. Santa Claus. Gotta have claws. Gotta have big old claws. His claws have like big old scoops in them. Like, have you ever looked at a dog's claws up close? Dogs actually have like little tiny scoops in their claws for digging. And the more an animal is pronounced for digging, the more digging it does. The claws get these like little scoops in there, which is kind of cool. It's the other thing that'll like surprise you about this job is that you'll just pick up weird facts about animals. And you start studying things. Back to overlay. I'm going to do some blending again. A little bit of light. Just using overlay. That's it. Just change my brush mode to overlay. It's magic. What happened? What happened? We finished it. Okay. Red around the rim here. Something like that. I don't know why I hang out on like the left-hand side. You ever find that you're like just like you've squeezed your document into like and you're working in like one little corner of the tablet? I don't know why I do that. It's like you just squash yourself. You're like, I have all this space. Messing with this area. It's just always fun to render shoulders. I think it just means I need more breakup. Now, zoom out. Get rid of that. New layer. It's nice to check your progress. Paint a new layer. Nice to just relax and just paint a little Christmas monster. Helps to not be in a high-strung state. I don't know about you guys. It's always hard to work when you got shit going on. So if you can, take a little time for yourself. And paint some gnarly monsters. Sometimes being a professional means sitting down, and even though you got shit going on in the world, there's shit going on in your life, and there will always be those things that you have to be able to turn your creativity on at a moment's notice, or just go for it, even though you don't feel like it. And that's always hard, is like you have, when you get news, something going on. It could be with yourself, your family, money, all these, stressors. And that yet, despite all that, you have to sit down and deliver. You have to deliver some art. And that can be hard. It's true. Well, if you think about it like an athlete trains all day, and then they do They do a warm up, right? They do a warm up exercise, and then they train all day, and then they refuel and break, and then they come back and then they train all day, and and then they do like cool downs and exercises like that. That's not much different than what artists do. We just don't compare it in the same manner because we think, oh, uh, one is physical and one is mental. So if you think about it like your brain warming up, your imagination warming up, you won't think of it like as guilt of like, oh, I'm doing, you know, I'm taking away time from myself, you know. But you're an artist, so you need to cool down, you need to relax, and sometimes like drawing for fun is relaxing, and if it's relaxing to you, then good. And I know that like the way I feel like I've earned the day, right? Because that's my big kind of thing is like at the end of the day, do I look at the work that I did in the day and do I feel good about it? That's the craft. That's the craft of like pushing yourself and getting better and then seeing those results. And some days those results aren't immediately apparent. We're all climbing up the mountain in a different way, right? Unless you're like the greatest artist and you feel like, well, there's nowhere left for me to go, which I don't think that's true. There's always somewhere that you want to go next. Maybe you want to try other mediums as well. Like if you're really confident in drawing, try sculpting. And if you're really confident at sculpting, try drawing. And if you're really confident at writing, try try writing out like a synopsis or a story. Like mastery of everything is is a worthy goal. I used to talk about being a Renaissance man. I like I like the idea of being a Renaissance man. You don't have to just be one thing. You can try lots of stuff. It will help you take in new information when you sit back to doing those things that you love. Like I really enjoy writing as a creative process. No one's paying me for it yet, but and also I don't have the time currently to dedicate a lot of writing time. But writing is really good for you. Thinking about characters, and then because I like monsters, I'm trying to write movies where there's more monsters in them, or stories where there's monsters in them. So your passions collide, right? And then you get to design more monsters. I love that movie. Did you ever see it? Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito. Excellent film. It's a great movie. Maybe people don't know about it, but maybe it should have a resurgence. It's a great movie. Renaissance Man written at the top. Yeah, exactly. Like it all feeds the artist. Um, all of it feeds the artist, and it strengthens the imagination. The imagination is a muscle that you can flex and get stronger. It's like mind's eye or uh, intuition. I'm going to liquefy this real quick. There we go. This is what's really another like small cool thing about Krita is that it's got this liquefy tool in the transform tool, so you can make a selection and then liquefy it as you're working. There's just little things like that. It's the little things, huh? Little things. Yeah. Something kind of cool about a Renaissance man. Someone who was trying to master all the disciplines. And I definitely am not able to do that. I am, for example, very not musically inclined. Music is very hard for me. I've taken piano lessons and I've taken drum lessons and all that stuff. I like drumming. I do like drumming, but I'm not good. And I know in my brain that would mean more practice. I just would need to do it all day, every day. You guys have heard the 10,000 hour. If you spent 10,000 hours practicing any discipline, then you could achieve that, some level of mastery over that discipline. So think about 10,000 hours, like 5, 10 years. Ask yourself, like, what is it that you want to do to achieve mastery? For example, I've been doing this 12 years. But I think I have attained mastery, not by a long shot. No way, dude. Some people just sail right past them, right? And they just come out really, really good. Maybe that's talent. I think of talent as the ability to absorb and apply information. What do you want? What do you want? What? What do you want? What do you want? You want to come here? Come here, Psycho. Come here. Come here. Come here. What? Okay? What do you want? Went outside? Went outside? Joys of pet ownership. Sorry, you got to build up the calluses. It's true. Anything worth doing takes time. Any discipline worth doing takes time, and you just have to understand that. You can do whatever you want as long as you have the applied focus to carry it out and see it through. So chances are, if you don't like doing it, you're not going to spend a lot of time doing it. If you like enjoy doing something and that's all you want to do, that's all you do, you will get better at it. You know, and at some point something clicks for somebody and they're like, "Oh man, I just want to do this." That's that, whatever that spark is. I should make him a little drooly. Make him a little like drool that was kind of coming down. Hairs. Little spiky hairs everywhere. Just breaking up this line a little bit. Yeah. Flip. Yeah, flip. There's the shadow. coming together. It's been good fun. You can hear my dog brigade. Got a dog brigade? I got a dog brigade. Oh, hello, fingernail. Welcome back. Just me tonight. Like also on the just thinking about you do a cool down sketch. Because when you do these kind of like side projects, noodle projects, it forces you to solve different problems. And then you end up coming back to your other project and you feel refreshed. And then you feel like you can tackle a different problem. You can tackle something maybe that you didn't think about. It's kind of like cool down, warm ups and cool down. All good for you. Mm-hmm. Dogs. Oh. So the light would be kind of sitting in here as it turns the form. just a big, hairy beast boy. I'm gonna move this guy up. Just taking a dark blue fill layer with multiply, and then just bringing down the opacity. Then I'm going to airbrush. Airbrush our light back in there. So I do this when the lighting starts to look a little flat. And I'm just thinking about the light source. Then I can kind of pop all my highlights again, and it kind of adds more depth. Kind of bring your lighting out again. And then you just add a new layer and start painting on top. He's got kind of like fox colors. Kind of foxy. We'll do another layer of overlay. I'm told I like to render. kind of the fun though, is like learning about how light works. And then also learning how to play with light. Or cheat stuff. It's kind of fun. And every so often you look back at the work you've done and you're like, oh, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at like some point you might open up a file that you did, see some old stuff. And like, you know what? That was okay. Maybe you hated it while you were doing it, or you finished it, or called it finished, or abandoned it, whatever. Said like that's good enough. So maybe in the moment you didn't like it, but then years later, maybe years later, you look at it again and you're like, oh, you know what? I do kind of like that piece. But I look at old work and sometimes I'm embarrassed or stressed out. I don't know. You just like you have memories of making that image. You're like, well, maybe I didn't have enough time, or maybe I should give myself more time. Woo. Yeah, man. Yeah, buddy. Interesting times. Interesting times. I'm trying not to talk about it because I spent all day thinking about it. Important thing is that we are making Santa Claus cryptids. No, not even. No, totally fine. Just in such a relaxed state, I just want to enjoy it. Another time, another time, I'll delve into it. I mean, I've posted my thoughts on it before. We've talked about it here on the stream. Night. Night is about a little fuzzy man boy. It's about this little guy. And then they have beautiful little, like, honey colored eyes. overlay. Overlay. No, it's just about the joy of creation. Making this little goofy guy. Just a little goofy guy. Again, I'm doing it again. Just keep hanging out. I just keep like drifting over to the side here. Down here. Some of these hairs are catching from this light. It's like, even now, years later, there are principles that I think about in art that like keep coming back to me and that I start to understand deeper later on. It's like you hear about core shadows or the Terminator, in lighting. I used to really think about it, but I don't know. You really start applying again that foundational knowledge, and it comes back, and you're like, oh wow, maybe I do know what I'm. Maybe I do know what I'm doing. That's why overlay. This cheek needs to come out beyond this tooth. Catching this light right here. Another principle that I'm always kind of like repeating in the back of my head. Overlap creates depth. So I'm always considering ways to add overlap. tooth is casting light here. Shadow would come up this way. Every so often you gotta hit it with the layer and see how you did. It's definitely gotten more rendered, I think, as this has gone on, which is pretty cool. It's cool to watch. You have to trust the process and be in awe of the process. It's like the hardest part sometimes is just trusting the process. Man, you get it and it feels good. You grow a little bit each time. Your work gets a little better. You start feeling a little bit better about yourself. You're just putting in the time. Maybe you're challenging one of your weak spots. You feel like you nailed it. That's always a good feeling. You're like doing something out of your comfort zone. Maybe you think that you're like, oh man, maybe I do know what I'm. Maybe I do know what I'm doing. Great feeling. And then you juxtaposition those days with days that are like you have a hard art day. You're like you forget how to draw. Sculpting some armor. Maybe somewhere out of your comfort zone. It's good for you. It's good for you to do stuff out your comfort zone. That's how we grow. You don't grow in your comfort zone. Stress triggers evolution. Just slowly kind of work your way around and just slowly resolve areas. Bit by bit, it gets a little bit better. Art is terrible. You definitely got to challenge yourself. And then the other thing that you got to learn is stamina, project stamina. Nobody ever tells you about that because you just get fatigued working on a project for hours on hours on hours on hours. So that's why you need little cool downs, warm ups, stuff to kind of keep your brain active. Oh, I get it. Oh, I got it. Instead of a little puffball, okay, I figured it out. See? Figured it out. Instead of a little like puffball, because Santa Claus has like little puffs at the end of his hat, and that's kind of what these horns are supposed to represent. What if he had scuff marks, and that kind of looks like a fuzzy hat? Okay, that feels better because he's just been. Maybe he finds like another male of the Santa Claus species, and they like butt their horns together. Yeah, see? You give it some time, and the solution will come to you. Kind of like chiseling. That's something else, about how the brain works. That it is the brain doesn't work all at once. You have to kind of let things go at some point, so your brain can like shovel it in the back and work the problem out while you're not thinking about it. That's why if you like go to bed and you have a problem and you go to bed and wake up and you have the solution. Little Santa Claus guy, little Santa Claus creature. It's starting to get fun. What do you think of my last piece of the Oni character I rendered out? I tried to render it out in 2D. Powered out. Come back, helping me a lot. Well, I mean, like, that's what midterms are for. Like, it's okay to, like, step away. Because let's say you've just finished out a term and your brain is just like stuffed with knowledge. It's okay to step away because your brain needs time to categorize and process information. So when we learn things, we don't learn things like all at once, um, and then it's just in there. The brain needs repetition, and the brain needs time to process information. So, for example, in advertising, there's the rule that you need to say a product name 7 times before the average person will remember it. So the brain needs repetition to remember. That's why ABC, for example, is like it's a song. If you can sing it in a little song, you can remember it. Songs are easy to remember because there's a little melody. The first thing we teach children is the ABC song. And so that's why everybody tells you. That's why everybody tells you like walk away from your work for a little while and then come back fresh. But the brain actually like it needs time to build the pathways, the neural pathways, because you have two neurons, right? And they look like this. They look like this. Probably not do this on my paint layer, but so you have two neurons that look like this, and they kind of look like little gack pieces, right? Um, when they make a connection, they shoot out a little dendrite, right? And then this guy shoots out a little dendrite, and then they have like little suction cups at the end, and then they give each other a little kiss. They go, ooh. And then what happens is they shoot electrical impulses back and forth, right? And they just do this like, you know, that's what thinking is you're shooting electrochemical impulses down these neural pathways. And over time, you build up more and more of these. And this happens all over your brain. You know, there's billions and billions of these processes, and they're all connecting to each other, right? They shoot out, they connect to different ones, and then they all shoot out electrochemical signals to each other. So that's what your brain just does all the time. But what happens is that your brain also likes to be efficient with its information and its resources. So, for example, if if you don't use it, you lose it. So your brain will cut away neural pathways that you're not using. That's why you can't remember your old address or phone numbers even anymore. It used to be you would only be able to remember phone numbers. Now you don't need that anymore because your phone has everything in it that you need. So, um, taxi drivers, for example, who uh, drive around New York City, they have a very large hippocampus in their brain for storing maps and mental maps and information. So if you don't use it, you lose it. But on the flip side, if you use it and you use it a lot, those pathways get thicker and bigger. And the thicker and bigger those pathways are, the more easily electrochemical information passes between them. They go zoop, 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 zoop. So what you're doing is you're building up neural pathways. And these pathways, um, you build these up in all kinds of ways. If you're a guitar player, for example, your your pathways are built from your mind to your fingers, right? You build mental dexterity. You build mind to muscle communication. That's why athletes who are like at the top of their game, they think of it just becomes instinct, right? Twitch, second information, instantaneous. So it's not much different with art and learning, in that the more you do it, the more you build comfort, the more you build up those neural pathways, the better you get. Then the better you get, suddenly like your art starts matching uh, your dreams. Like pretty soon you can just make whatever you want and it's magical. Uh, what are your thoughts on Neuralink and possibilities of an implant allowing us to be able to have more bandwidth and processing power, as Musk states? Well, their experiments have been horrific, if reports are true. So I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. Um, and it sounds possibly unethical if they're killing that many animals. So I mean that's a whole thing. Now, in theory, if we were to talk about like in theory, the mind, with a machine implanted into it is, I mean, it's already done today with like cochlear implants. They just have something that taps uh, into the brain at a specific area, and it applies the electrical signals that maybe the brain did not get. So people are able to hear again with cochlear implants. Um, as for like more knowledge, more bandwidth in the brain, I don't know. But what I do think is that like if people had just more space in their brain, then they would automatically like, and I mean space from like bills, anxiety, living quarters, things like that. Um, so, I mean, in a sense, uh, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Could we possibly put implants into the brain to make the brain more efficient? I mean, possibly. Are we really doing so much that we really need that extra space? Probably not. Or if the idea of like making people smarter, I definitely don't think people are like, it's hard. I don't know. I waffle between optimism and pessimism on that. Because on one hand, people are smart. The average person knows way more than like a medieval peasant. So we are smarter than prior generations. Maybe we focus on the wrong things. Humans do tend to get distracted with a lot of really dumb shit. I mean, and I say this as someone who loves dumb shit. I love to get distracted with dumb shit. I'm trying to make the hair kind of like dirty blondish with some like highlights. He's almost got like really nice hair in a way. Maybe it's kind of like silken. I mean, the idea of like human augmented machinery and in science fiction has been around uh, since the beginning of science fiction. I don't know. Have you guys seen Crimes of the Future from Cronenberg's his latest one? Oh my god, it was terrifying. No one's thinking on that level. Crazy shit. Great movie. I think humans right now at this stage, we are just like languishing with a lot of our potential. We could be really doing amazing things, and not to say that there aren't people doing amazing things. You definitely get distracted with some dumb shit. Like people are more interested in just like dunking than action. Say this as someone who does that. I'm not perfect. I get distracted with some dumb shit all the time. I'm very active on Twitter after all. Smaller with my brush strokes here. All right, let's step back. Did I get like everything I wanted to? Maybe not. I'm pretty happy with this, how this guy's come out. For just a few sessions. If you're between midterms, relax. Take a breath. You earned it. Let me. You can turn off reference images too. That's things could happen in a new type of way. Star Trek, Matrix, Blade Runner, any sort of how fast tech is advancing is fun for theory. Yeah, I mean, and what we are facing now is that the technology is in our faces, and it's much more apparent every day. Um, I mean, I'll say this is data Data was an AI. But what did Data want more than anything? To be human. Because he could not feel the joy in painting. He could not feel the loss of his crewmates. So Data, more than anything, wanted to be human. I did this brush. Trying out brushes. See what this guy does. This kind of seems like a buttery little brush. Yeah. I'm suggesting that there could be trees or something. We are definitely living in interesting times. Definitely too interesting. And have been for too long, and it's only going to get more. There's only going to be more stuff. Right? Humans, we just can't stop. We can't stop doing what we're doing. Thinking about the cold, frigid air that this guy would live in. I was really feeling like it. I would paint this guy, paint this guy and do it. But out he goes. Not about you anymore, laddie. Grab my paintbrush again. Maybe grab some of this lighter blue. I want my chunky palette knife. Love Krita for this stuff. It's just so awesome. It's just like the most buttery little brush. Ah, so good. No, it is pressure based. Sometimes push too hard, you're putting you're adding paint to it. Then you let go and you can kind of blend it. It's just like how paint works. Smudge it on a little bit and you blend it in. It's so cool. Definitely lay down the pressure a little too hard. So it's lowering the opacity might be helpful. Just thinking about a little bit of like ground reflection, light that might be bouncing up in here. Had a little snow bunny, that's fun. Yeah, touch grass, man, totally. Totally get that feeling. Have a little snow bunny, yeah, that'd be fun. Snow bunny. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, I found it. I found the snow bunny. I think is that... Oh, there we go. Okay. So this little pin guy, this is the guy you use for reference. Little snow bunny. There we go. It's a great idea. And then what's nice is I can just sample the color right here. And also suggests that he's like friend to the animals. Yeah, it's interesting times. certainly faster than we thought it would happen, but that's the case with all exponential growth. Um, what I'd recommend is checking out like Ray Kurzweil. If you haven't read some of his books, um, I used to read a lot of Ray Kurzweil. So he read a lot. He wrote a lot of books, like, you know, Age of Spiritual Machines, Clarity is Near. How to Create a Mind. So I mean, he's been doing a lot of kind of like science futurism um, for many years. So now I'm sure with this kind of technology, I haven't looked into what he said recently. Uh, I'm sure he's got thoughts on it. Probably all stuff that he's thought before. Yes, I mean like ethics is going to play a huge part in this. The kind of future that we want. It does seem strange that artists are kind of at the forefront of all this. Well, little bunny guy, I like this. Little bunny guy. Yeah, kind of. It's interesting. The bunny softens him quite a bit. And that kind of goes in with the story that like mankind would want to hunt, you know, hunt the Santa Claus. There we go. Now we can hit him with this rim light. The same light that's hitting our guy here. But what I do know, or at least what I do think, is that you know human human made art will become more important. We've already seen like flooding of junk stuff. So I think the endeavor of the human artist becomes more important. Yeah, it makes him so cute. It makes him so cute. we go. Perfect. Yellow friend. Yellow friendo. Hi, little friendo. Every animal needs like a every beast needs a good like friendo. Yeah, he's cute. You know, got a cute little friendo. Creative people will always be driven to create. Getting close here. Like the Grinch's dog. Oh yeah, like every grumpy guy needs like a cute animal to humanize him. That's what that dog is there for. It's to humanize the Grinch. Because otherwise, the Grinch would be too unlikable. Because he cares for an animal. Oh, there's a fur. Maybe I do need white hairs coming down here. This looks like his sleeves. Santa Claus will gut you to death. He will make you bleed. He will cut you. He's got a little snow bunny. So he's actually not that bad. You guys are so cute. So cute. Kind of cool off the shadows a little bit. Okay. A little bit more light. They do little tiny whiskers? Can I do little tiny whiskers? It's the indication of a whisker. That's the important thing. You ever just do some layers and mess with filters? Interesting results on. Oh, all the time. Yeah, all the time. You got to mess with stuff. This is how you discover your process, and then find like little places to tweak inside of your process. Got a little antler on his head, or a little red nose. It's cute. Oh, I get it. I get what you're saying. Oh, yeah. I think I'll just keep it to a little bunny because, like, he's got big claws. How did he tie it on? How would he tie? Unless somebody tied it to a bunny and the bunny escaped. Oh, we can do this as some storytelling. All right, let's do it. I'm into it. You sold me. Okay. What was the, let me look, Grinch's dog. Max. Oh, yeah, he gets a little backwards, weird horn on his head. Let's see. If we remember, I have this on a new layer. Or what if we did this? What if we did a little red bow? There's like little gold bells on it. And that makes you think that, like, it got lost. So somebody's little bunny. Then that gives a little bit of stakes too, because you think here's this big scary monster. What gonna stab the little bunny? You would never do that. Good. He's a good guy. He's a good monster. All right, going back over the face one last time. It's important to spend more time on the face than anywhere else. That's the first thing we go to. We're built to look at faces. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool with that overall. And a twist back in the end. Drool highlights. Yeah, I need drool. Now let's do some of that. The drool. Okay, with drool is just don't mind that. You draw out a little line. And then just pop a little highlight there. Best with like a good round brush. That helps too. And actually, I can probably relax here. That's pretty fun. I think I need one more pass of overlay. And I think I'm gonna call it. Never done, only do. At some point you have to say no more. A little more flyaway strands just to finish it off. I really like his little bunny companion. I really like that choice. Okay. Okay, I think we're as good as we're going to be. I'm going to try a filter layer. You go to filter layer, you go to edge detection, And you go dodging and high pass. So this is like doing a high pass. And that's what it is. And you can dial it up. It'll be real sharp. Right? And you set the mode to overlay. Now this is obviously like way too sharp. But what's cool is I can just dial this back down. It's probably too sharp. Like, I always go too hard with it, so that's a sharpen pass, and then we can do nothing else. I want to try halftone, which is kind of cool. Looks like too big though. I set it to a multi. It's kind of cool. I won't keep it, but it's not that kind of illusion. But it's fun to play with stuff. Maybe I'll try. Probably need to do some adjustments first. A little bit more blue. Just thinking if I want to glue everything. Oh, you know, I haven't really been using Krita that long. It's maybe been like maybe a couple months now. So I feel like I'm just now kind of like diving into it. But I like, I like it so much. Okay, I think we're there. So I do my usual thing. What am I looking for? Looking for the same thing I use all the time, which is this guy. Yeah, there you are. You put a little tag in there. Yeah, I'm using all the default brushes, all these ones, except I download the RGBA wet brush pack, which is free on their website. You can see all the basic brushes here. Krita 5 comes with like this pack. This one. Anyway, it comes with some basic brushes, all which are really excellent, but you can also tag them. So I created a tag list of like the main brushes that I'm using for my general painting. So this marker, this like Coptic marker brush, is the thing I'm definitely using like the most, and I like it. Here we go. Woo. But I've had to watch like a few tutorials just to kind of learn the ins and outs of the program, and it's not that bad. It's pretty easy to learn, pretty intuitive. It's a lot of fun. I like how natural the media feels, and it's got a lot of cool perks in there and other stuff. It's got like cool perspective tools and stuff like that. So I like it. Yes, Krita is free. It's a free program. Hold on, let me find it. I'll drop it in the chat for you. Krita. Yep. Pop that in the chat for you all so you can see. So there you go, Krita. Download it now. It's free. It's a fun program. I like it a whole bunch. Anyway, thank you all for joining me for Creature Corner. Thank you for hanging out on this project. And I had a good time working on it. So thank you all for hanging out. And I will be off next week. And then we'll be returning, I think, the following week. We'll see. Thank you to Gnomon School of Visual Effects, the MIT of Visual Effects in Hollywood, California. Thank you to our sponsor, Lenovo. Thank you to our buddy, Matt Millard. Matt Millard. He couldn't join us tonight, but he wanted to be here. If you want to contact me and say hi to either me or Matt, you can find me at MonsterMash042 and Instagram at Jared Krichevsky. Find me there. Also, say hello to Matt as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas and holiday break. And thank you all so much for hanging out with me. And enjoy Avatar. And let me know how it is. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next time on Creature Corner.